Well, Keith and Ashley, we're at the corner of Linwood and Bryant here in Buffalo, where this tree was uprooted. Storm damage is scattered and thousands are without power. This large tree came crashing down on this Ashland Avenue home in Buffalo.
It was just wind shear that broke off the rotted base.
Mike Dugan with Specialized Tree Service and his crew were working to remove the tree. We found more downed trees in the nearby Fruit Belt district. Here on Locust Street, 2 trees were uprooted overnight, one on this side of the street and one on the other.
My daughter woke me up about 2 o'clock in the morning. Ma, you see that tree? I said, what tree?
Locust Street resident Judy Quigley says her grandchildren missed the school bus because the street was blocked. She didn't lose her power, but the downed trees pulled on the power lines. On Northampton, near Michigan Avenue, another downed tree. Some neighbors did lose power Thursday night.
It went out around 9:30, and around about 11 o'clock it came back on for about maybe 20 minutes, and then it went back out, and it didn't come back on until around about 11:30 or so.
Minister Darden was among the thousands of National Grid customers knocked out in the Buffalo region. He says it seems like every time there's a storm, he loses power.
But now it seems like we get a drop of rain and everything just crashes. So
another uprooted tree was blocking the entire section of Linwood Avenue near Bryant's.
Well, I was just walking my dog and kind of shocked to see this.
The tree specialist noted more and more city trees are falling since the October 2006 storm ripped out thousands of city trees.
Previously, the October storm kind of weeded out all the bad trees. Well, now we're starting to catch up to trees maturing and showing their age.
Now we have learned that more than 16,000 National Grid customers are still without power. Many of those are in Erie County. The restoration time could be as late as tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, but you can still check the National Grid website to get updates. And now joining me is Nikki Dementri, my colleague. She has more on storm cleanup.
Yeah, Eileen, this is a familiar scene here, just not in Buffalo, but all across Western New York. Down trees here, like the one that you just talked about on Linwood that is right behind us. The Parks Department says 150 trees have been called in that are down across the city since this storm. Now, about half of them are supposed to be taken care of by 10 p.m. tonight. The rest, well, that's for the rest of the weekend. Mother Nature is not playing a trick on Western New York. Whipping winds and walloping rains overnight left neighbors in Buffalo cleaning up this November 1st.
A lot of phone calls. A lot of phone calls.
Gregory Soika has been in the tree business for 30 years. Today, he's fielded dozens of calls. He says the high winds and soaked soil made for a lethal combination. And for safety reasons, he's keeping his team on the ground.
Tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, we're going to be the alarm clock for people.
In North Buffalo, this tree here fell inches from a home on Voorhees. City crews say large equipment, possibly a crane, will need to be brought in to pick the tree up and roll it away. Just across the street, crews helped this man pull a tree off his Jeep. He's thankful his Jeep took the brunt of the damage rather than people.
I don't think there's no hope for it.
To Buffalo's west side, that's Jeannie Carl's house on Perkins Place. She says her tenant was home when this tree fell around 1:30 in the morning.
She said she didn't hear anything until she had that sudden thump on her.
Carl says inside, the roof dropped at least a foot.
Looks like there's going to be a big bill.
Her tenant is now out of a home.
It's a lot of hurry up and wait.
David Livermore from Tree Care of New York has to wait here until National Grid cuts the power. He says this is the biggest storm his company has responded to so far this year.
We get to them as fast as we can. We get to them, do them as fast as we can, turn them in as fast as we can. And then it's, on alignment, and I know they're working just as hard as we are.